What's up, YouTube? I'm back. Took a few weeks off. I was really busy with my internship and work. But I'm here to talk about what I said in my last video I was going to touch on, which is responsibility in college. And many people hear, you gotta be responsible in college. This is your stepping stone for the real world. But let me tell you, as an incoming freshman, as someone involved on campus, I know personally, from being a freshman last year, from being involved on campus as I am and as I was, responsibility can go out the window sometimes. Sure, luckily for me, I had a good head on my shoulders and people telling me, yo, you ain't about that life, don't do that. Administrators being on me. But let me tell you, I've had friends that had to leave university, some people that chose to leave university, and some people that are struggling that are coming back. I'm hoping that they get their act together. So this video is I'm really going to talk about mainly what are some things that are going to trip you up and how to stay responsible. Alcohol is a problem for commuters and residents. And anybody out there that's going to lie and say, oh, commuters, we go home and stuff like that, don't lie. Don't lie. Commuters, you sometimes want to stay with your friends and you want to party. And people that live close to campus, they're only a 10-15 minute drive away, so guess what? You can party all night long and then go home and tell mommy and daddy you were studying. Residents, you live in a res hall. At my school, there are 3 res halls for freshmen. They are all dry dorms. You trying to tell me that you thought there was no alcohol in that dorm? You a lie. You a lie. I knew at least 4 people on my floor alone that had alcohol in their rooms all the time. Why, if those dorms were dry dorms, why did one of my friends go to the hospital with alcohol poisoning? And it was in the dorm. Don't let that crap trip you up like, oh, well, it's a dry dorm, so I'll be fine. There's no alcohol. No. People are still human, and they will find a way to sneak things in. Alcohol, next to drugs, are the number one reason people either end up kicked out of school, in jail, failing classes, etc., etc. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that to just stay away from drinking, don't drink, don't do any of that, don't party, stay focused, only do schoolwork, stay in your dorm. I'm not going to tell you that because that's setting you up for failure. Because guess what? When you get out there in the real world, you're going to be combated with it a lot more. All those employees that are going to want you to go with them to happy hour after work, So, this is what I say. And I'm really going to touch on alcohol more than I do on drugs. What I can say about drugs is don't do it. Don't do it. I know some states have medical marijuana. If you ain't got no medical problem, don't do it. I'm pretty dang sure that marijuana is illegal to have on every campus unless you got a medical marijuana card. And even if it's so, they're probably still going to tell you cannot smoke marijuana. Don't do drugs. Don't do heroin. I'm very firm on this, not laughing. Don't do those stupid substances. Those will mess you up and you will become addicted for life. College is known to be where people can get addicted to that hard cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine mess and mess you up for the rest of your lives. I'm not kidding with you when I say this. Don't do drugs. I've seen people get taken out by it. I've seen people have to quit school. I even know someone that died from it. It's real, people. Don't do drugs. That's all I'm going to say on that subject. Don't do drugs. Don't. Don't go experimenting either. Back to the alcohol. It's college. I say in all honesty, you should try one drink. This much. That way you know what it tastes like. So if you ever get put in that situation outside of work where you want to start fine dining like wine and stuff, which I think personally is alright, that's what you call a social drinker. Me. Vodka. I think the difference between a social drinker and a hard drinker is not what they drink, but how much they drink. If someone drinks like 8 glasses of wine in one night back to back, I think they have more of a problem than someone who took 2 shots of vodka and then just drank Red Bull the rest of the night. That's just my personal preference. But look, you get out of class at 5 p.m. You're done working, you're done class, everything. All your friends, you do your homework, you're a good kid. That night, all your friends want to go drinking. This is all well and good. But if you're drinking till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, in all honesty, that hangover is going to rise over to the next morning. If you got that 8 o'clock class, I say if you got an 8 o'clock class, you need to stop drinking by 2 o'clock at the latest. You got that 8 o'clock class, especially for you guys that go to them big schools, you need to stop for real by probably 1 to 12 to midnight to 1. Because if you got that big campus and you got to walk all the way over there from your dorm, you got a class at 8 and you only stop drinking at 2, 3 in the morning, you ain't gonna make there. You ain't gonna make it to class on time. You ain't gonna probably make it to class. That hangover. Or you ain't gonna be paying attention. You're gonna be like, what? What? Don't do that to yourselves. College is a time for you to have fun. I understand that. But there are ways, I'm a hypocrite for saying this, but there are ways to have fun without alcohol. I like to consume alcohol? Yes. Would I ever let that get in front of my classwork? No. You know, for all you guys that are freshmen, that you're going to see the Greeks, and you're probably going to hear about drinking stories. For you guys at big school, you're going to hear that the football team, basketball teams drink. Drinking is okay when you have a limit. You know, we hear the commercials all the time. Drink responsibly. It's true, because you can get hurt. Your friends can get hurt. You know, a lot of freshmen roll into this, oh, I can drink all I want now since no one is really monitoring me. Yes, you have the RAs, RLCs, Res Life, and all that monitoring you. But really, if you want to drink, there's no way that they're going to be able to stop you, because they're not always going to catch you. It's more students than there are of them. So you need to be responsible about that. You know, you don't want to be the kid where you have to call your mom. And I had at least 2 friends that had to do this. Call their mom and dad, or someone call their mom and dad and say, oh, but Johnny and Maria, they got alcohol poisoning and they're at the hospital. When they find out that you're okay, at first they'll be sad, but when they find out that you're going to be okay, you get cussed out. You're probably going to get taken out of school, probably. Some parents will snatch you out of school, like, okay, you're done. You're left. You're done. You're done. We're not paying for you to go to college anymore. No, we're partying for you. You're pulling out. No, you also don't want to be that person that ends up doing some stupid stuff and gets put in the dean's office because you peed on somebody's door. But somebody did do that to one of my friend's doors. You don't want to be a person that ends up with a 1.0, 2.0, 2.5, 1.5. That 1 to 2 point range, because you didn't get your work done because you were drinking all the time. You know, I understand college is a new experience. For some of you, this is the first time that you get to taste alcohol, or that you're able to have so much access to alcohol. You know, I'm just speaking from, a lot of dorms are not dry dorms, but at my school, the freshman dorms were dry. A lot of my friends had alcohol in their rooms. They could go to the upperclassmen dorms. They weren't not allowed in there. You know, you do have access to this. So don't say that I'm not going to drink because I don't have access to it because I'm in a dry dorm or they do not allow alcohol. That is bullshit. And guess what? The schools that have harsher rules about alcohol, I bet money more incidents of alcohol come on because people have to be more sneaky with it. You know, that's one thing I like about my university, is that they're like, hey, you want to drink? Fine. If you could get caught underage drinking, be ready to deal with the consequences. Because right now, all I've been talking about is school consequences due to alcohol. But, you know, legally, if you get caught with alcohol in your system or in your possession and you're underage, that's you can go to jail. You know? And more importantly than that, for you commuters, this is mainly toward the residents, commuters. You don't want to stay on campus in your friend's room, which I say, if you drink, you better stay in your friend's room. Tell mommy, hey, I can't come home tonight. It's worth more than you getting a DUI. That's like $10,000 that you're going to have to end up paying. Or, more importantly, I know someone that got in a car accident. Luckily, it wasn't that bad. They only had a few scrapes and scratches. But what if you would have died? You commuters can die in those car accidents. Even if you're below the legal drinking if it's new to your body, or you're really just still not paying attention, you're trying real hard to focus, like, you can still get in an accident. It's not worth your life. It's not worth your life at all. You know, the tips mainly are: be responsible about your drinking. Know what you're drinking. Here, if no one else tells you this, I'm going to tell you this. Don't mix light with dark. People say there are ways that you can. Yes, there are. Don't do it, though. Don't try to figure it out, because you'll end up making you sick and you could die. Not that you could just get sick. You can die. Be responsible. Don't mix light with dark. Don't drink alone. Don't drink alone, and have somebody sober that knows you're drinking and knows where to find you. That way, if you say, hey, I'm gonna drink, just know, call me later before you go to bed to make sure I'm alright. You may seem needy, but if you love your friend, you're gonna do that for them. Don't miss light with dark. Be responsible. Have a buddy. Even if you go drinking together, you better have a buddy, because you need someone watching your back and you need to watch somebody else today. That's what friendship is about. You'll learn that in college in many forms. This is one of them. And really, this is my last point of the video. If you had a test or you had an exam, I know a lot of people want to cut loose finals week. Don't sit there and drink. Don't sit there and drink. Don't put your grades in jeopardy because you want to drink and have fun. So let's review those 4 tips again. Be responsible when you drink. Have a buddy. Don't mix light with dark. And do not let it go over your school. School is #1 priority, not drinking. Period.